Hi guys, what's up? Today is the 10th of May, so I would like to greet all the wonderful mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. You are doing a great job. Wow, someone is busy. It's Mother's Day. Someone's cooking for me. Ooh, yummy. I know what he's trying to make. Mother's Day. Two and a half cups of flour, half teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now let's combine the dry ingredients. Add half cup of butter. Cut in the fat called for in this recipe. Some of the best crusts are made with a combination of fats. Half butter for rich flavor, or shortening or lard for satisfying flakiness. You can experiment which fat or combination you like the best. You can use a pastry cutter to work into the flour, but for me I just like rubbing them through my fingers until they are clumpy, until the clumps are the size of small peas. Now let's check if the mixture sticks together. Yes, they do. Now that's really good. Now let's add liquid. But I prefer milk or yogurt. But I'm using yogurt, and this is a tip I got from my friend Camilla. Now let's mix it gently with a fork. The mixture might look a bit crumbly after we mixed it with the liquid, but that's what we want. And now I'm gonna use my hands. I'm not overworking it, I'm just squeezing it. It's still a bit crumbly, so I'm gonna have to add another half cup of yogurt. And now it's starting to come together. They're sticking together. If it sticks together, then it's perfect. And if you can pick up the dough now with nothing left in the bowl, then it's ready. Divide the dough into half and squeeze to form a small disc. The dough needs to rest in the cold fridge so that the flour will absorb the liquid and the dough will relax and be easier to work with. Now wrap the dough with a cling film and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes to an hour. While the dough is resting in the fridge, let's make our apple filling. I'm using 4 apples. To be honest, I'm having a hard time peeling this apple in front of the camera. Now let's cut the apple. I prefer thinly sliced over chunky apples in my pie. I had to cut them really fast so that they won't turn brown. We will pre-cook the apples so that the baking time will be less. Let's add 2 tablespoons of butter into the pan. Add the apples. Three-fourth cup of sugar. 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Squeeze in some lemon juice. This is optional. I'm squeezing another one. Now let's mix all the ingredients together. And now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of flour. This is to thicken the juice coming out from the apples. I prefer the juice to be thick rather than thin because it will make the crust soggy if it's too liquefied. Now it's all caramelized, it's ready. Now it's time to flour a clean work surface. Now that we've finished making the apple filling, let it cool down for a while. It's time to roll out the dough. Flatten the dough slightly with your hand. Now let's roll out the dough. Roll out from the middle, rotating a quarter turn every roll.
Now the apple pie.
Continue rolling until the dough is not thicker than 1/4 of an inch. Place a pie plate upside down on the dough to see if it's big enough. Roll your dough onto your rolling pin and carefully lift it and transfer to the pie dish. Put Position it at the center of the dish and gently press it onto the pan, making sure you press it to the bottom edges. Now let's roll out the other half of the dough an inch wider than the pie dish. Dust your rolling pin with flour to keep the dough from sticking. And now it's time to add our apples. Spread the apples evenly. Use a paring knife or kitchen shears to trim the dough that hangs over the pie dish. Then leave about an inch overhanging. Now let's roll out the other half of the dough and place it on top of the filling. Now let's cut the extra dough hanging over the pie dish. And now let's seal the edges. I'm just going to crimp the edges. You can use a fork, you can fork it, it's all up to you. Just make sure the liquid from the apple pie will not ooze out from the edges, so you better seal it really well. It doesn't look perfect, but once it's already baked, it's going to look nice. Now we'll dent some holes onto the dough. This will serve as a vent and will prevent the pie from bursting. You can punch a few more holes if you like. And now let's brush it off gently with egg wash. This will make it look golden and shiny. You could also drizzle some sugar on top of it, but I'm not going to do that because I think there's already enough sugar in the dough and in the filling, and I might be topping it with custard or ice cream, so I think it's sweet enough already. So I'm gonna wash up and clean up while waiting. Baking at 240 degrees Fahrenheit oven toaster for 30 to 35 minutes. And here is our apple pie. So it will really save you a lot of time if you pre-cook the apples, because you can cook the apples while your dough is resting in the fridge. It would only take you 40 to 50 minutes to make everything from preparation to baking. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. If you like and try this recipe at home, please give me a big thumbs up and comment down below.